Welcome back to Mac School Prep TV. Today we are going to be hitting the ground running with Chapter 2 of our 4-part series on the art of note-taking. If you do not know, my name is Mackenzie Warren. I'm the founder of Mac School Prep, and I'm super eager, super excited to keep giving you more information that's going to help you be successful and thrive in an academic setting. Before we jump right into the meat, before we get the ball rolling, I just want to give you a friendly reminder now to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and also hit the notification bell so that you can stay in the loop and stay updated with everything that I have to offer. Alrighty, it's time. Let's get it. Okie dokie, so what I want to do first is address this misconception that taking notes is about writing down word for word, verbatim, whatever it is that you see in the textbook or whatever it is that your teacher is saying in class. But to be completely frank with you, that is not what note-taking is about. It wastes a lot of time, wastes a lot of energy, wastes a lot of resources, and given our hectic schedules, given our plentiful commitments, we quite honestly don't have time to waste due to not being efficient. To cut to the chase, the name of the game when it comes to note-taking is that you want to be as productive as possible without expending a lot of time and without expending a lot of energy. We're gonna get into the nitty-gritty in a minute, in which I'm gonna be providing you with pro tips on the actual art of note-taking, but the overarching theme that I need you to take away is that no matter how you end up going about it, your notes should be presented in a paraphrased format. My best advice for you is that whether you use color or no color, pictures or no pictures, words or no words, a combination of colors, pictures, and words, you should be taking notes as if later on you're going to be summarizing whatever it is that you read in your textbook, whatever it is that your teacher talked about in class for a peer, a family member, or a friend that asks, hey, so-and-so, what did you learn about at school today? Let's be real honest here. If someone asks you, hey, what are you learning? You're not going to pull out your textbook and start reading all the words to them, and you're certainly not going to pull out your teacher's printout of the PowerPoint slides and start reading that to them. Instead, what you're going to do is you're going to provide them the meat, the big picture, the heart of the lesson, the abridged rundown, the succinct and shortened version. In other words, what I'm trying to say is that when you're taking notes, your goal should be to put yourself in a position in which later on when you're studying your notes, you are reviewing conclusions and main ideas, not random facts. On that note, let's first discuss taking notes on your textbook reading. A pro tip that I have in this regard is that you do an understanding check. Maybe it comes after every paragraph, maybe it comes after every 2 paragraphs, maybe it comes after a whole entire page, but what the goal is that you close your book or you don't look at it for a temporary period of time, and after reading a certain amount, you literally write down everything that you can recall from memory about what you just read. After going through that exercise, what you're going to do is you're going to pick your textbook back up, you're going to continue with the pattern, and you're going to make sure that you don't forget to continue doing these understanding checks at regular time intervals. Now, I'm about to make it easy for you when I say that a similar approach should actually be taken when you are doing notes on in-class lectures or presentations. What I'm saying is that in your notes, you should not be regurgitating every single word that comes from your teacher's mouth. Instead, the best thing that you can do is that as your teacher is discussing a concept, just sit attentively, truly listen, and absorb all the information that you can, just like a sponge, until your teacher has finished with their spiel, which is probably going to come roughly after 5 to 7 sentences or once they get to the end of the PowerPoint slide that they are referencing. Then, during that temporary break or pause between the spiel that your teacher just gave and their next spiel, you're going to want to write down the main idea of what you just learned, along with a few examples that are going to serve to jog your memory of the lecture at a later time when you're studying and reviewing your notes. Let me tell you, the reason that this strategy is going to work for both textbook readings and in-class lectures is because this is something that I keep saying, but our brains are so powerful. They have a way of being able to sift through the rubble to find the diamonds in the rough. If you're still not catching my drift, let me put it in a different way. Our brains, which we just need to trust, are going to do the bulk of the work for us whenever we're taking notes. What I mean is that whenever we're reading a book or whenever we're listening to an in-class lecture, our brain on its own is going to choose to hold on to the more important content over the smaller, more extraneous details. For this reason, the information that you choose to write down from memory when you're doing your understanding check of a textbook reading or after your teacher has given a spiel is going to prove to be representative of the big picture information that was worth retaining. Switching gears a little bit to my next piece of advice, I recommend that when you're taking notes, you do not write incomplete sentences. I say this because if you choose to write incomplete sentences, you're going to be wasting a lot of time. And remember, the art of note-taking is all about maximizing productivity and maximizing efficiency. To be completely honest, the trick is to write down enough so that your notes are understandable when you go back and you review them at a later time, but you don't want to write down so much that it's like you're rereading your textbook for a second, a third, or even a fourth time. To help you move at a faster pace, what you're going to find to be super helpful is abbreviating. And obviously, you're going to need to establish a system of word shortening that works for you. But what I want to take a moment to do now is just go ahead and provide you with some of the most commonly used ones. We have because being abbreviated as BC. We have with being abbreviated as W/. We have and being abbreviated with a symbol. We have government shortened to GOV''T. The word especially can be shown as ESP period. People can be shorthanded as PPL. President can be shorthanded as Pres, P-R-E-S. The word positive can be shown as a symbol, the plus sign. The word negative can also be shown as a symbol, the minus sign. The phrase this leads to or this has the effect of can be shown or represented as an arrow. The phrase also known as can be shorthanded as AKA. And finally, the word different, like the word government, can be shortened to DIFF''T. With all of that said, something else I want to bring your awareness to is that another way to ensure that you're not writing too much in your notes is to be super hyper aware about whether you are rewriting things. You probably already know that our textbooks, our teachers like to communicate the same message, the same idea in 100 different ways, most likely to appeal to different brains. But in your notes, you certainly don't need to put all the different variations that you come across. A final pro tip that I have for you that's going to filter and control the amount of information that you include in your notes is that you shouldn't take notes on things that are obvious to you. Let's take the circulatory system, for example. If from previous exposure and previous experience you already know that the circulatory system has to do with blood and nourishment being transported around the human body, then don't include that information in your notes as you read your textbook. But if you don't know that the circulatory system is also known as the cardiovascular system, then that new information is definitely something that you're going to want to include along with your notes. This strategy is also applicable to taking notes on PowerPoint slides. Sometimes there simply isn't enough time to write down everything you see on the slide before your teacher clicks the next button or before your teacher moves on to the next spiel. So what I recommend you do is that as you are looking at the PowerPoint slide, you should only ever find yourself writing down the main bullet points of discussion along with the things that aren't obvious to you, the things that are particularly nuanced, or the things that you're going to have a hard time remembering. Okay, so now that I've given you some food for thought and some information to start mulling over as it pertains to the art of note-taking, we're gonna go ahead and take advantage of this opportunity as a stopping place. But don't worry, like I've said before, I'm not going far. You can catch me in the next video for part 3 of our 4-part series on the art of note-taking. But before you go, I need to make sure that you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and also hit the notification bell so that you don't miss a beat. With that said, I look forward to seeing you soon in the next video. Bye!